What's up, college football fans, Mean Green fans? This is Sonoy Valente once again with the Mean Green Show, and today I'm joined by JD. And before we get into all things recapping UAB in North Texas, you guys already know the drill. If you're a fan of college football recruiting, G5 football, the transfer portal, any or all of the above, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Also, if you happen to agree or disagree with anything that we say, let us know in the comments below because all that helps channels like this get picked up by the YouTube algorithm. All right, JD. Well, talk about wetting the bed. I mean, here we are.
Man,
What are your okay, so we're a day removed. This isn't a true instant recap, obviously, but what are your thoughts? What are you what are you
uh,
feeling like?
it's kind of a mix of emotions. I mean, frustrated, let down, disappointed. I thought, honestly, I thought we were going to make it a close game. I mean, even in our worst years, it seems like we always play UAB close. Um, I was actually at a wedding last night, but just was getting the scoring update on my phone, and I was shocked when I looked. It was 30-0 at halftime. I was like, this has got to be a mistake. Something's wrong with my ESPN app. But going back and watching a little bit of the game, I could. I mean, it's just highly disappointed. I mean, like I said, I'd put North Texas in a little teaser I did gambling because I thought it was going to be a closer game than 34 points.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm sorry for your double loss then. And yeah. So I'll own up to it for the people that don't watch the show into its entirety or don't tune into maybe the UAB podcast that I did with John Duncan over there. But I told Miles and I told John thought we were going to upset him. So I'm the biggest loser on the beach, I guess you could say in SpongeBob terms. Man, was I wrong? But anyway, in the beginning of the season, I did, project us going 4-8. So I mean that was my project. What was your did you have a preseason projection on the for the record?
I don't know if I actually put one down. Mine was kind of fluctuated between 4-8 and 6-6. I mean, I'll admit that, and most people know on the board, I'm most of the time way more optimistic than I should be. But I mean, I thought 6-6 was definitely possible. Now, I'm definitely leaning more toward the pessimistic side for sure.
Yeah, well, I'm more pessimistic because I'd rather just mentally prepare myself for the worst and then hopefully be pleasantly surprised by something better. But I mean, I drank the Kool-Aid after that SMU loss for whatever reason. I know CMC Forever is probably gonna go crazy that I did, but yeah, I mean, I was thinking we were going to pull something out there. Defense looked good, but then we came in and just from, I mean, the first defensive drive looked pretty good. I mean, 3 and out, or maybe they got one first down and we got the ball back, but then obviously that was a quick turnaround and they capitalized and never really stopped from there.
Yeah, I
So
mean, and just to add to that, I mean, I left the SMU game feeling good, especially about the defense. I kept thinking, the offense is going to come along. Defense has always been our main concern. Um, but then, after we lost to SMU with the schedule coming up, I posted on the board. I was like, we these next two games are almost must win because if you lose these two, you're looking at 1-6, 1-7, and I don't think you can't recover from that. But then before this game started, I was watching the SMU and La Tech game, and a miracle Hail Mary. I mean, Louisiana Tech should have beat SMU, so that was pretty disappointing because I mean that I thought next week would be easier than this week, but after watching that game, I don't think it's going to get any easier.
yeah, yeah, it's looking kind of grim at the moment. Um, yeah, yeah, that Yeah. So let's pull up our schedule really quick. So we've got remaining anyway. We have La Tech, then Missouri, then Marshall, then Liberty, then Rice. Okay, so out of the next 1, 2, 3, 4, that's again La Tech, Missouri, Marshall, and Liberty. Those are the next four. How how important is this La Tech potential win to get us from getting, I mean, from prohibiting us from having one win going into Rice. I mean, do you think that's pivotal, or like, I mean, how important is this La Tech game?
Oh, huge. I mean, I don't think. I mean, just to be honest, I don't think Seth survives the season to begin with. But I think if you lose this game, you're looking at 1-6. You're looking at not having another. I don't think another game that's winnable until October 30th at Rice. I mean, you're going a whole 2 months without a victory. Like I said, if you get to 2-5 is not great, but you've got a chance to still get bowl eligible. But yeah, I mean, I think UAB was a huge game. We missed the bet on that one, but hopefully at Ruston maybe can pull up an upset. But yeah, I think if you get to 1-6, I don't know if Seth can survive the whole season.
Yeah. So, kind of speaking on that briefly, and obviously we're not gonna turn this into a bash any coach type of thing, but just kind of looking at from a logistic standpoint. So, I don't know. I Bobby retweeted something that Matthew Bruni tweeted out maybe a year or two ago. I can't remember, about Seth Luttrell's contract. Don't quote me on this, but I think the buyout for his contract, let's say he goes all the way through this year, because the contract is through the 22 season and the 23 season, right? Does that sound right to you?
Correct.
Yeah. I think the buyout is a little bit north of $800,000, maybe closer to 900 than 800. So we're looking at nearly $1 million to buy him out. And what kind of, I mean, that's a lot of money for a school, for a G5 school. And, so it's like, well, I mean, do we just grin and bear it for the next 2 seasons and come out of that 23 season with a lot more money to, go get a guy, or you know what I mean? Or do we just sever and eat the loss, hypothetically? I mean, not saying that that's what they're considering, and who knows, that's above our YouTube and podcast pay grade. But I mean, or do we do that and just we would have less funds to go get someone, but try to get this thing revamped sooner? I mean, what do you think? I mean, what do you think the right answer is there?
I mean, especially with conference realignments and everything I've heard, I may have mentioned on the board. I mean, I think Mountain West, the American, one of those two is very, very, very realistic opportunities for North Texas. So I think going to either one of those conferences, your pay for being in the conference is going to go up no matter which one you go to. I just don't see us ending up, 3-6 or 3 wins, 4-win team this year. North Texas rolling on for another season. I mean, that would be 3 straight 4 wins or less seasons. And like I said, I just don't. And I think North Texas, they've got the money, but I do think that they let Seth, this season rides out. I don't think there's no positive in firing him midway through the season unless the team just absolutely quits. And they do have Phil Bennett, who would be a fine interim coach. I don't know if he's interested in that. I mean, like I said, he came out of retirement kind of just for Seth. But like I said, I don't see him lasting past this season just with everything going on in conference or in college football right now.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Time will tell. Time will tell. Any positives that you can say about where we're at right now?
I think the team is a lot more talented than the score suggests. I don't know if the team's quit on them. I mean, they've showed spurts, offense, defense, both of them. I've said this a ton. I think that the team is 10 times more talented today than it was the day Seth was hired. I don't know as far as that they're not prepared, if they're not motivated. I'm not sure if we're just getting out schemed, what the deal is. But like I said, I do think top to bottom, offense, defense, we're a deeper team and a more talented team than we were 6 years ago. That would be the one talent out there. The one positive I would take is whoever the next coach is getting a team that's not going to be 100% rebuild.
Yeah, yeah. Caleb Howell almost had a nice little run on a fake punt until the ref called, a false start. That got me juiced for a second, and then they called it back. But obviously that ref probably works for Public House, because I don't know if you know this or not, but Caleb Howell is now sponsored by Tavern. So I'm sure it was a big money play to make sure he didn't get his. But so hey, if Caleb Howell and Matthew Bruni were to do an exhibition fight, would you make your way to Denton to watch that?
Absolutely.
How much would you pay? How much would you contribute to that?
I mean, whatever ringside seats cost. I mean, I would even try to be a guest commentator. I mean,
there we go.
That would be my thing.
There we go.
I don't think it would last long. We'd have to have some more fights in the card, because I don't think Bruni's. I wouldn't put my money on Bruni, but
I wouldn't put my money on Bruni either. But I wouldn't sleep on Bruni. Bruni, man, he's feisty, man. He's
probably scrappy. He'd be scrappy.
Yeah, he definitely is. But Caleb said he'll do it for free. The number we got to get to is 8,100, though. I think maybe we could talk Bruni down to 6,000, because Bruni said his initial number was $8,000. I'm hoping we could talk him down to $6,000, and Caleb, at least got to give him $100. So
there we go.
But that might be our icing at the end of the cake at this season, and looking forward to maybe seeing that actually go through. But who knows? But well, I mean. Well, how do you? What do we do from here, man? Like, as fans, like, talk to us, like, because I would make a case, you're probably one of the most biggest fans presence, on Twitter and all that. So what do we do? Like, guide us as a fan. How do we go forward in this season?
I mean, I've seen some people say, stop showing up to games, stop burning your season tickets, stuff like that. I don't think that. I mean, I promise you, Ren Baker knows what's going on. Ren Baker sees what's going on. He's not blind to what's happening. So, I mean, I say keep supporting the team, because this team's young. I mean, we may lose some to the transfer portal. That always happens when you do coaching changes. But, I mean, the guys that are out there, I mean, they've still got a while left, and they're still going to be improving. So I say keep supporting the team. I mean, I'm going to keep watching. I'm going to keep going to the games. I'm frustrated with what's going on. I'm frustrated with the outcome, absolutely. But still got to keep supporting, because, I mean, like I said, I feel like those players remember when the fans quit on them. I mean, I think that there's still some hard feelings. So, like I said, I say keep supporting. And I do think brighter days are ahead. Maybe potentially new conference on the horizon. An athletic director that I 100% support, that I think that, we got to remember, he didn't make the Seth hire. Seth had some good seasons at the start, flirted with Kansas State, and it seemed like it's been downhill ever since. So, I mean, I don't put what's happened on Ren per se. So I'm excited to see, we need a new conference, potentially a new coach, with the lineup, with the roster that's already, I think, pretty stacked, with some you go across the board, defense, offense. I mean, there's a lot of kids on our team that could start on any team in the conference. So I think that it could potentially, depending on who the coach's hire is, it could be a pretty quick rebuild. I mean, I don't think we're looking at 4 or 5 years away. I mean, it's not something that drastic, I don't think. So long story short, keep supporting the team. I think it could change pretty quickly.
Absolutely. And, kind of looking at the glass half full here, our schedule is so tough that if Seth can rally and win 1 or 2 of these next, 1, 2, 3, 4 games, if he can go 2-2 somehow, he could turn this ship right around. I mean, if he could pull off a win against La Tech and St. Marshall, dude, I mean, we'd be dancing to a different tune. So it's not over yet, necessarily, not implying that that's what you were saying. I know you weren't, but and as far as brighter days, no rain, no flowers. So yeah, we're gonna be all right. And North Texas fans, people that go to North Texas, just genuinely speaking, and I'm speaking from experience, I feel like they're a good crowd to be around. They like to have fun. We're kind of a blue collar bunch, and so go to the games. If you're 21 or above, make a drinking game out of it. Like if we're gonna lose, take some sort of consumption of whatever type of measurement of whatever kind of liquid encouragement is your choice, and have fun doing it, because the football games, they really are a lot of fun. And so
Absolutely.
it's not over yet, but man, did it just get a lot more imperative to win next week. So, well,
Absolutely.
JD, anything else? I know this is a quick one. We got to get back to the Cowboys game. It's halftime while we're recording this.
No, like I said, hopefully turn things around, right mistakes, and make it an interesting game in Ruston. That's really all I got. That, like I said, I would say it's a must win, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, JD, thanks for hopping on with me, and go Mean Green, and we'll talk soon.
Go Mean Green.